Hello guys, welcome back to the Daddy Cliff channel. Today we are at Monash University in Australia and we will be looking at the Monash Graduate Scholarship. This is a scholarship that is open for those who would want to do either a doctorate or a master's degree program. And it is important to note that it is a research doctorate and a research master's degree program. That is to say, in this scholarship you will not be involved with coursework. Basically, coursework here means it will not be lectures where you would be in class and then the professor will lecture. You would have to be very much involved with research. You will be out there in the field conducting research either for a doctorate or a master's degree. Let's say for those who are in the sciences, they will be in the labs conducting research, while those who are in other fields will be carrying out different types of research. It will involve a lot of research doing and not just coursework and lectures. These are the benefits of the scholarship. They say they would provide you with a living allowance, and then they would equally provide you with relocation allowance. Living allowance here means a monthly stipend that will be provided to you, and then relocation allowance is money that will be provided to you immediately you get to Australia so that you will settle down peacefully. There are a number of tuition fee available for international students. Let's look at the living allowances and the relocation allowance. The total amount 35,013 Australian dollar annually, or 1,336.37 on a fortnight. Basically, this is the total amount that is provided for monthly allowance on a yearly basis. That is why it says annually. But if you want to break it on a monthly basis, then you will receive 1,336.37 Australian dollars on a monthly basis, and it will be provided to you every fortnight. And then for relocation allowances, it says here international students 2,000 Australian dollars. Before we continue, let's look at English language requirement, because that is one of the things that usually stops a lot of students from applying for any scholarship. English language proficiency. If you go down, you would find a number of countries beginning with Antigua plus Barbuda right down to Zimbabwe. You would find other countries like Zambia, Uganda, Nigeria, Singapore, Sierra Leone. There is Kenya, there is also Ghana, and a host of other countries. If your country is on this list, then you don't have to provide any language proficiency. You do not need to provide any IELTS or TOEFL. But in case your country is not on this list, then you can go ahead and read the other conditions under which they might waive English language proficiency. For example, if you did study in one of the countries that have been mentioned in this other overseas institution, then you will not need to provide any English language proficiency. And there are other conditions, so go ahead and read them and see if you might be able to waive your English language proficiency. But in case it's not possible based on what has been provided here for you to waive your English language proficiency, I would recommend that if you had your studies in English, maybe you did your bachelor's degree in a university where English is the medium of instruction, or maybe you did your master's and then now want to do a research doctorate at Monash University, you can go ahead and email them telling them that your studies were carried out in English. Maybe they might ask you to provide an English proficiency document from your university stating that English was the medium of instruction, and then they would probably waive your English language requirement. So why not email them and let them know? Now let's look at how you can go about applying for this scholarship. It says here how to apply. The application for graduate research scholarship is done at the time of applying for your course, unless you are already enrolled. Whether you are a new or current student, the same process is used for both admission and all scholarship via our application portal. So basically they are saying here that you can only apply for the graduate research scholarship at the same time that you are applying for admission into Monash University. So there are 2 rounds for international students. The first one will close on the 31st of March, and then the second one will close on the 31st of August. In case you feel like you might not be able to meet up with the 31st of March deadline for international students, you can go ahead and submit your application before the deadline of 31st of August 2024 for international students. But it has been stated here, note the closing date for Research 1 2024 international students has been extended to April 4th due to Easter. So it will no longer be 31st of March, it will be on the 4th of April. You still have, that's 4 more days for you to get your application ready and then apply. And then there are selection criteria that you must meet apart from the English language requirement. So if you click here, it will take you to this page. It is very important to note that every scholarship is very competitive, so you must make sure that when applying you bring up what they call your best or your A game to prove to them that you are the best candidate among the list, the pool of candidates that will be applying for this scholarship. So make sure you take your time to write your essays carefully in a way that will convince them that you are the best candidate for the scholarship. You must fulfill the following conditions. There is an eligibility criteria that you must meet. Make sure you meet the eligibility criteria. The first one is the English language requirement. And because it is very competitive, as it has been stated here, the selection process is based on your academic record, research output, and research experience. They will assess all of those things because it is a research degree. They will want to take but somebody who has already had a lot of research experience, and you must provide those documents. For example, if you've carried out research and have published in international journals, why not provide proofs by providing them copies of your past research publications? The quality of your research publications will really determine if you get the scholarship or not. So it's very important that you make sure you provide the best application document for this scholarship. The next thing is that they say you must make sure you submit an expression of interest, as it is stated here, expression of interest, to the relevant faculty or academic unit. And they are saying that every faculty has a different expression of interest process, so make sure you go through the different faculties that have been stated here. There's art, design, right down to Monash University Accident Research Center. So if you're applying for, let's take information technology, this is the page. It says scholarship and application, how we evaluate scholarships application for all year round, which means there are no deadlines. This is good. Apply whenever you are ready, whether it is for a Monash scholarship or a self-funded. You must start your application by finding a project and supervisor to work with. It's very important that you contact a professor. I have videos on my channel on how to contact professors. It is very important that you contact professors, and you don't just go ahead contacting professors without carrying out research on them. You must read their past research publications and make sure that their research area aligns with your own area of research interest. You must make sure that you read their past publications and make sure that what they've been researching on is in the same area that you are equally interested in carrying out research on it. In case you contact a professor who has a research interest that is completely different from your own area of research, they will not respond to your email. It's very important that you take into account that. That's why you would have to provide samples of your past publications for them to look at it and then decide on if they can accept you for the scholarship and admission or not. Like we said, the first process is for you to contact a professor. So it says here, apply now through Supervisor Connect, and there's a process here. They say the process is as follows. After you have found a project of interest, you can immediately send an expression of interest from its description. The corresponding supervisor will contact you to discuss the opportunity. Before we continue, feel free to follow me on Facebook or Instagram. There is a link tree down in the description section of this video. On my Facebook and Instagram, I do post scholarship opportunities there every day. I repeat, every day. There are scholarship opportunities that I post on Facebook and Instagram every day because I cannot make videos for those scholarships every day. If you don't want to miss out on those opportunities, why not follow me on Facebook and Instagram? The link is down in the description. Make sure that you find a project. You can draw a research proposal and then submit it to the professor. If the professor goes through the research proposal and feels like he is interested in your research project, then he might contact you and then you guys can talk and then if there are any adjustment to your research proposal, he might tell you to do this or that corrections to your research proposal. But that can only happen if your research project or proposal aligns with his own area of research. So it is very important that you contact a professor who is in the same area of research like you. For example, this is about computer sciences. If you want to contact a professor who is interested probably in the area of Python while you are probably interested in another software, then it might not accept you. That is just like basically for you to understand. So you must always make sure you are contacting a professor who is interested in an area of research that is in alignment with your own area of research. Your supervisor will then guide you through the application process, which includes documentation and submission. If the professor feels like your area of interest is the same as theirs, then they will connect with you and then they will guide you through the application process. And once a professor is already interested in you, know that you get the scholarship. So it's very important that you go through the process of contacting a professor. It is the same for every other, even if it's arts. If you want to apply for any arts major, it is the same thing. They say you need to complete 4 steps in order to apply to study a graduate research or a graduate research scholarship. Before you begin, take a look at our focus area. For these ones, they have their focus area, so you have to click on this and then look at their research areas. It's very important that you look at the different research areas that they have before you apply. If you look down here, you will find the different areas of research that they've carried out. It's super important that you go through the process of reading all of these articles that have been published here before you begin your application if you want to succeed. So once you've contacted the professors, then you can go ahead and submit your application. As it has been indicated here, they say application for a PhD, research, master's, course transfer and or centrally managed scholarship are submitted through the graduate research admission and scholarship application portal. So this is where you will go ahead and click and then begin the process of applying for the scholarship. So you would have to create a username and a password. In case you've never applied to MONASH, then you would have to come here and click on register because you are new to the portal. But if you've once applied to this university, all you need to do is input your user ID and password and then go through the process of completing your application. There is also the application submission guide for graduate scholarship applicant. So this is it. You can go ahead and start looking at this because you would have to fill up these different prompts when applying online. So if you click on it, you can go ahead and read. You would have the student's profile, detailed research program, English proficiency qualification, awards, employment and research experience. They would have to provide them with reprise, your publication, miscellaneous document, your CV, and then in case there's an agent, you provide an agent. But it is important to note that the research scholarship does not necessarily need you to provide an agent, because once you've contacted a professor and you're in communication with the professor will be the one to take you through the application process until admission and scholarship. That being said, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Remember that these are the eligibility criteria. There is international students here. Go ahead and take this opportunity, apply. Remember, every scholarship is very competitive and the process is not always that easy. It will require your time, your money and your energy, but remember, hard work always pays. All I can do is wish you the best of luck in your application, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.